Good morning, everybody. It is 8:10 a.m. It is June 5th. Hope everybody had a good day yesterday. The market yesterday really had no direction. The market was mixed, a mixed bag. Tried to go lower, finished higher, and closed only a little above the previous day, which really didn't do anything. Okay. Stocks, a lot of them, if you look at them, are coiling up, and it looks like the buyers still are in control. All right. The momentum's still to the bull side. As speaking, we're gapping up, and this morning we're gapping up. So semis are up 1.42% pre-market. That means risk on. So that's a total flip. Technology's up 0.51. We'll get into that. So without further ado, welcome to my channel. My name is Steven Gonzalez. I use volume profile, market profile, define structure in the market. And I said market profile. I mumbled that. All right. I also use Anchor VWAPs, supply and demand, gamma exposure levels, the most traded price of the year, the month, the week, and the preceding day. Just helps me lay out a roadmap for the day. Okay. Those levels are very important. And, we bounced off that most traded price of the year in the ES and the NASDAQ on Friday. And we haven't went lower since then. We've pretty much been getting higher lows, higher lows, higher lows. And like I said this morning, we're gapping up. All right. So every day I do this at 8:10 a.m. We go over the watch lists of futures, and then we go over leaders and laggards, news, daily charts, and then around 8:30 a.m. I go over scenarios, longs and shorts for ES and Nasdaq. Okay, using my market profile, volume profile, and the most traded prices of the month and the week, and that will come at 8:30. All right. So why don't we into um, get right into the watch list? Okay, let's see what's going on today. Nasdaq. Nasdaq is up 0.54%. Bitcoin's up 0.45. Crude looks like it might be bottoming out here. It's up 0.42. Silver's up 0.31. ES up 0.29. Russell up 0.28. Gold up 0.27. 30-year bonds being bought again. Okay, that should drive yields lower, even lower. All right, so the Dow's up 0.22, Ether up 0.21, dollar is up as well, up 0.17. Interesting, the dollar's up. 10-year yield hasn't reported yet, but I would assume it would go lower. Okay, the VIX is down. It's under 13 now. It's down 1.52%. All right, the market keeps churning higher. Mag 7 Plus here. Let's see what we got. All right, Roblox leading the pack up 1.43, followed by Meta, followed by Nvidia, followed by AMD, followed by Coinbase, Google. Everything's up. Tesla, Baba. Um, let's see. Is there a laggard? We got Boeing down 0.06, Snow down 0.18. Snow's been decimated lately. All right, let's move on to top sector stocks. That's right here. Qualcomm up 1.14%. Right, semis. Salesforce got decimated. That's up 0.53. United Healthcare had an upgrade. Costco, I mean, not huge leaders. The only lagger here is Eli Lilly. All right, let's go to the swing trade list. Swing trades. Leader, CrowdStrike reported earnings. Supermicrocomputers up 2.45. Taiwan Semiconductors up 2.23. Mara up 0.2%. AMAT Applied Materials up 2%. They got an upgrade, I believe. Micron up 1.77. Palo Alto with CrowdStrike in sympathy, they're up. And then you got MicroStrategies, Riot. I mean, there you go. Let's see if there's any laggards here. Dollar Tree reported earnings. They're down 2.2%. AMC's down 1%. That's about it. Okay. That's about it in that list. Let's go down to top sector. Back to top sectors to sectors. All right. This is a change from the mornings previously. All right, semis leading the pack, up 1.3%, followed by technology, up 0.39, followed by communications, followed by financials, followed by healthcare. There is not a laggard on this board. Okay, there is not a laggard on this board. So, looks like we're risk on this morning. Let's move on to some news and calendar. Today, you're probably going to want to stay away from some day trades until about 10:05, 10:10 a.m. Unfortunately, probably watch there be beautiful setups, which always shouldn't seem to happen because we have news coming out at 9:45 a.m. Okay, and then we have news dropping at 10 a.m. All right, so ADP employment change just happened at 8:15. Let's see what that was. Actual 152. Ooh. Consensus was 175, so that's bullish. It's probably why the market's moving up. Then we got S&P Global Composite PMI and Global Services. At 9:45 and at 10 a.m. you have ISM Services. Okay, so be very careful. I'd be very wary of putting on a trade close to the open or close to these times. It's not worth the risk. Obviously, you have a longer swing play that won't matter. Okay, so that's what's going on there. Some news here. You have Hewlett Packard surged 15%, CrowdStrike rose 11%, Dollar Tree stock fell. So I talked about that already. Let's see if the juice has anything for us. So what's going on right now was what they're saying. Stocks rose on speculation that a cooling economy will allow the Federal Reserve to lower interest rates this year. Treasuries halted the rally that resulted in the largest two-day drop in yields this year. So there's some bad economic things coming out. We just got a change in ADP, which is not good. We just had manufacturing that was not good. So bad news is good news. Okay. And what else here? As far as upgrades and downgrades, let's see. Upgrades: AbbVie, AMAT, KLAC, all right, United Healthcare. Downgrades, nothing really to note there. Let's see. Initiate coverage. Nothing to note there. Raises target. Let's see if we have any raise targets. CrowdStrike, raise target. Lowers target. Nothing to talk about there, really. Let me see if there's anything else that I wanted to talk about. Not really. Let's go on to the daily charts. And that is not a daily chart, that's NVIDIA, but we will go to SPY here. And let's check out these daily charts, right? So I was talking about, I was saying yesterday, look at these wicks, right? Market's trying to go lower and keeps getting bought up. And now, where are we now? 529.70, 529.70. We're all the way up here. Okay? Above these two daily highs. I'm gapping up. Okay? So, but we're coming up into this 530 something level. That's last week's highs in the middle of this congestion. Okay? So the market would have to do a lot of work to move through that today. Can it happen? Sure. But let's check out the futures. See this? Futures, buy. Look at those 3 days. And now we're above those 3 days highs in futures, right? Let's see if we can push up to like 533.7, right? Let's see. Now let's go to the Qs. Now the Qs double top there. get rid of this. So again, the Q's just bought, bought, bought. You get those lower wicks. Now we got a double top here. And you also got another day here that's 455. So we are at 456. We are right 456, 655. We are about right here. Okay, got a trend line here at like 457, call it 458. That could be resistance. Okay, I'm going to talk about the levels in a second in futures that coming up. And so here we're still pushing up. So you notice lower high, lower high, lower high, right? Lower high. That just signifies that there's dips are being bought, right? Keep breaking the highs here, higher highs. And like, you could definitely see us going up to here today. We'll have to see though, right? We'll have to see. Now we're gonna go triple head monster, and these bond yields have been dipping, boy, big time. Those bonds were getting bought. I mean, that's just like, I remember I talked about this 4.6 and I said, wow, look at that, wham, all the way down to last month's lows, right to this swing low here. Broke the 200-day moving average out, the 100-day moving average. I would think they stay here to wait for Friday's non-farm payrolls and unemployment. If those unemployment rises, okay, and we don't add, we get a bad number, these yields should fall even farther, maybe to 4.2. So very interesting to look at, right? And the longer, the most, when yields are falling, that's better for equities. Okay. Now let's look at the dollar. Now the dollar also fell, but now is getting another bump up. But this support here, 103.90, has been holding. You can see this level here. So it's interesting. The dollar was following yields a little bit, but now it hasn't. It's kind of disconnected. And then we look at our VIX, which is 30 days out of fear. You can see the VIX has been trending lower. Hey, we're actually under 13 now. And I can see the market's pulling back a little bit right now. So we'll have to see. All right. Now, that's going to take us to market profile, volume profile. We'll check out structure. Let's check out our structure here. All right. So this is my main method, my roadmap. Tells me what I'm going to do. All right. Now, here's our profile for the last rolling week. You can see the most traded price of the year was where the market was bought. Right there. That's the most traded price of this year. Okay. That was where we rolling profile starts. Then we got some value area here, and then we got this little push up here. Now, we do have a very, very important level here. Right there. 53.24 is the most traded price of the month, the rolling month. Okay, so we're going back up to that. Now, another level here I talked about yesterday, 53.13, it was a week high. And I said either that's a breakout point or it's resistance. So yesterday it was resistance, and see, we hit it and closed here. But look what happened in the overnight. We broke it. But what did we do? We hit the most traded price of the month, and now we're kind of selling, not selling off, we're pulling back. Okay, there's a big supply zone there as well. So that's not going to be easy to go through at all. That is not easy. Now we did build out demand here. Okay, so let's look at this. Let's break this down. We got a gap, small. So this is yesterday's highs, yesterday's lows, overnight low, overnight high. Okay, so we're gapping up, but it's small. Okay, this is the only short activity to this much long activity in the overnight, so we're close to 90% net long. Close to 90% net long. Okay. So in gaps, just so everybody knows, here's the gap rules. The most bullish would be a gap and a go. Second most would be a failure to fill the gap and go. Third is a fill the gap and go. And then when you see us go back into yesterday's range, well, then that just tells you the buyers aren't as strong to hold the gap fill. That's good. We have to look at these gaps. However, if I didn't know, right, this was the most traded price of the month, I wouldn't know why we're getting resistance here and there's supply zone there. Okay, like I said, this market has a lot of work to do to get through this level with supply and the most traded price of the month. That is a wall. Okay, so yeah. Now we have a weak low here at the overnight lows. You have the close from yesterday and the overnight low. So, and lines up with this demand zone. Okay, so that really is the defense for the bulls. Bulls need to defend that. Okay, I understand the gap fill can happen, right? However, like I just said, we're almost 90% net long in the overnight. You might have a little corrective activity that tests this, and then that gives you the fuel, maybe not to break this, but to go up for it and hold up there. Okay, it's kind of really what I'm looking at here. So now, the most traded price of the week is down here. I'm going to show you, this is important too. Is here at 52.85. The most traded price of the month is here at 53.24. Price is here, 53.18. What you could see, all right, because remember, we got big data coming out on Friday. You could see one of these, boom, boom, ping pong, until we get that data and it either rips up higher or rips lower. Okay, buyers are definitely got momentum. Now, buyers are super in control if they were to take out this most traded price of the month and hold above it. That would be very bullish. Okay, that would be very bullish. We're not doing that. So like I said, there's some tough sledding. I'll bring this down a little bit. There's some tough sledding here for the ES to go up. It's not going to be easy. Okay, even if a price action may look like it's easy, let's say it rips up there and can't find acceptance above it, we're probably going to come back down. Okay, and a very balanced overnight session. Very balanced. Okay. So let's get into some scenarios here. All right, so if I'm a bull, like I said, I want to see the gap fills our first line of defense, and then we have this demand zone with the overnight lows and yesterday's close. Okay, so if that's the defense, right, you just want to see the market could push up into this big level, start getting some lower highs, go through the most traded price of the overnight, which would probably cause some selling. And now you got to see, does the bull step in here and push back up into this level? Right? Like I said, price action can make us go like this real quick. But if it can't hold above there, but this is bullish scenario. So let's say we do hold. We might get up to here, right around 53.40. That's what I would kind of like to see. I'd like to see a pullback. I'm not interested in really longing up here. Just if it's gap and goes, I really don't like that. Now, the market could also, you have this level here. So this level 52.85. This is yesterday's most traded price and just happens to be the most traded price of the week. That's also defense for the bulls. Okay? That's also defense. So the market could, even if it breaks that, come back here and test that. If it holds, possibly come back up, and we might even balance off in here. Okay, one other thing to note is today the gap fill is very important because look, 53.13 is a breakout level. So that gap fill could really launch because it's an important level to the left. Okay, that's what I'm seeing there. Okay, I don't like that this is in the way. Like I said, I need to get a pullback. I wouldn't like to long into this level at all. All right, so shorts. If the market shows some weakness, okay, if the market now this is the bears have to defend this level. That's the most traded price of the month. Okay, it's a pretty staunch big level, and you have a supply zone overhead right here. It's a lot of work for the bulls to do. So if I'm a bear, what I want to see a push up into this level like this. Now, like I said, if you don't find acceptance over this big level, that is bearish. So let's say we did this and came through, held. Now, that's a nice time to enter. You can cut through the most traded price of the overnight. Now you have to test this area, like I said, that bulls need to defend. If you break that demand and you hold, we're going to go reach down right here to yesterday's most traded price and then most traded price of the week. Okay? Now, that could be it. However, if we break that and hold, we could test yesterday's lows and potentially go down here. Okay, so this is very key up here for me. Can the market sustain, find acceptance above this level? If it can't, like I said, we have big news on Friday. We could do back to the ping pong, like I said, okay? That you can't find value up here and boom, you're going to go back down to value from yesterday for the week. We need more information, right? That's what I'm looking at right now. Okay, so now why don't we look at the NASDAQ? The NASDAQ's different, okay? And you're going to see here the structure of the NASDAQ and what I'm seeing. And every day, just to keep in mind, I do this real time. I don't look at this prior. I do it real time with everybody. So what I'm looking at is the first time I'm looking at it and analyzing it. Okay? Now, let's look at this. Here's the most traded price of the year in the NASDAQ and of the last year. Right there. It's where the market bottomed out. Then we've just bounced and been moving higher. Okay? Now, let's see here. You can see we're very close to ultimate balance in the NASDAQ. Okay? So these are the levels, right? I just talked about these turquoise boxes. That is the most traded price of the month in the NASDAQ. That is 186.90. Price is here. See the difference in the NASDAQ and the ES? That was reversed last week. The SPY was stronger. So now the ES, right? Here's the most traded price of the month. I mean the week. So you have this big area has been the most trades in the last month in the week. Price is here. Notice the difference. Right? ES is not over the most traded price of the month. It's found resistance there. Now NASDAQ has supply that it just went into, and it's kind of like pulling back a little bit. Okay? So this is the big difference in these two markets. Okay, now semis are pushing up today. So look at this big distribution here, and you got the little bit here. Okay, so you can see this value is really concentrated in here, and now it's trying to move away and push up. Now, whenever you're in ultimate balance like this, remember the most trades have happened in the month and the week here. You tend to get a big move. Okay, now you have this area, this 170, 187.53 was a weak high, is a weak high established yesterday. So this was resistance yesterday. Okay, we broke through that. So NASDAQ is gapping up. All right. So how do we play this again? It's very similar, but I like the NASDAQ bullish wise better than the ES because it's over this level. It's holding. Okay. Gap fills here. You have big demand zone right here on sitting on top of this level. So the only thing I'm going to be looking for here is not a gap and go, because that can go without me. Now you do have very heavy supply zones above, like I said. So you don't have the most traded price of the month like on the ES, but you do have heavy supply zones. So that is not an area that I just want to sit there and go long into at all. Okay, it's going to have some work to do. That's why the ES is going to have work to do above it. Okay, so what you want to see sometimes with this, when you have heavy supply, what you want to see, even if the market comes up here and takes it out, but then it falls, well, then it cleared the supply zone, right? Got some of that liquidity out. Now it can give a chance to move back up. Okay, so let's get into scenarios. And we do have, actually, let's go for some levels that I'm watching. Okay, obviously you have the gap fill, 187.57. Now, we have a weak low here, right here. That's overnight low and the most traded price of the month. Bulls need to defend that. You also have a big demand zone right here. So this is a place where probably people might be interested in buying. Okay. So let's now go into some scenarios here. All right. All right, full bullish scenario. Okay. Again, this market could go up and gap and go. I don't like this. It's going into a bunch of supply zones, and you have the ES underneath the most traded price of the month. So I don't like that. So I remember I'm going to give scenarios that I would like to see. I want to see push up, fine. Push up, fine. Get some selling. All right. Now I want to see if we can come back. One would be the gap fill. You could even push up there. However, bulls just need to defend this whole big area. So even if we come back to yesterday's overnight lows, we could even do a little boop, and you hold. Yeah, then I like that. The market firms up and see how high we can go. Okay, so you got two big demand zones here. Now, the difference is there's a lot of places here that the bears would have to cut through. So that's why I like this. Okay, I just really like it. Now, there is a short play here as well. Look what we're at. We're 100% net long in the NASDAQ. Okay, so I'm going to show you something really quickly. Look at this low. So let's just say you bought here, right? And let's just say you got longs from here, longs from here, longs from here, and then you got longs from the overnight. Okay, so psychologically, if you were long here, you're like, okay, I'm seeing some resistance here, I'm going to take some profit. That could just make a correction happen. Okay, that just will make a correction happen. So now you have these on your side. Now this is not a big long-term trade of short, but this is very viable because you have so many longs, right, getting paid, and you're going into heavy supply zone and you're gapping up. Okay, if you do this and then you start to get lower highs, and you start to come down, Okay, that could be a sign of some profit taking, and you definitely can at least test the gap fill, and then you'd have to, you know, go right here. That could be it, the end of that move. Remember, this level is really tough to push through. Okay, so, but this is a bear scenario, so I'm going to give you what possibly could happen if it gets really nasty. Cut through that, hold, and now you got to deal with yesterday's most traded price. I mean, there's a lot of levels here that you'd have to cut through. That's why I'm saying this would be hard to cut through, but if it did, you're going all the way probably down here. I don't think this is likely, but it could happen. Remember, big data coming out on Friday, right? So that's what I'm seeing. Hold on one second. All right, that's what I'm seeing. Hope you enjoyed that lesson there. You know what? Let me see if I can show you something. I got some extra time here. Let's just see crude. I'm just going to show you some volume profile with the daily charts here and show you really quickly the most traded price of the last year right here. And look, see that was support and then ripped down. Here's a high volume node here. So let's see what crude's going to do. ES, this is just with the volume profile. All right, so you can see we push down. That's a high volume node here. That's what kept the market, right? NASDAQ, most traded price of the last year and the rolling year right here was support, right? Market's ripping back up. Do we hit all-time highs? Don't know. That's just what's going on. Let's see the Russell. You're going to see a pattern here, what I'm saying. Most traded price of the last year, that's where the Russell is right now. You know, these high volume nodes, you just don't make it up. Right there, boom. Russell's sitting there. Another way to look at it here with crude, you can see the most traded prices and where we're at, right? ES, you can see that's the most traded price of this year. That's where we came to, right? And now we're moving back up. And you'll see the big volume node in the NASDAQ. Lots of trades here where we bottomed out, right? And now we're kind of consolidating and we're pushing back up. So, I mean, right now all signs point to higher. All right, so a lot of these things are all the most traded prices. And so the ES just got it. I just heard it in my. The pushing up now, pushing back up. See that little pullback that happened? It happened to about here, pushing back up again. We'll have to see. We'll have to see. You got those data coming at 9:40, 5, and 10. It could push through this. I don't know. We'll see. But that's it for me. Hope everybody enjoyed that analysis. Hope it made sense to everybody. If it doesn't, just send me a comment. Let me know. Okay. But I would always like everybody to. I do this 8:10 a.m. every morning. Please join, subscribe, set an alert. Okay. If you enjoyed the content, please give me a big thumbs up. That'd be much appreciated. All right. You can always follow me on X at Gonzo719. I know I've said this before, but I want to get in a habit that I think I'm going to start to give a morning update, maybe really quickly. Morning update, what I'm seeing, maybe a midday update. Trying to think of what I want to do, but I actually want to make it part of my routine. Not only to help me, but to help you guys see what I'm seeing during the day. Because I could talk about this now. Once the market opens, everything changes because there's new information, right? So, I don't know. All right, everybody. If I tend to, I'm going to try to make that a part of my routine. Okay, so sometimes I get busy and I can't do it, but I want to try to do that. Okay. So everybody have a great day. Stay patient. Stay green. I'll see you tomorrow. If not, later today.